What's happening, everyone? My name is Brian Mell with Marty's Buick GMC and Chevrolet, and in today's video we'll be discussing what I think, what you think, and what the internet thinks is the all-new, all-electric Silverado EV. Let's get into it. Alright, so if you saw my last video, we talked a bit about the possibilities of what power plants could be available in the new electric Silverado EV, as well as its expected range, release time, pricing, etc. But one thing we didn't really touch on is, what is this thing going to look like? Well, for those of you who don't spend your free time watching automotive conferences, here's one that you probably missed. Last November, General Motors attended the Barclay 2020 Global Automotive Conference, where they discussed future plans for the company, most notably their plans for the EV space moving forward into the future. But on stage during this conference were three of GM's future EV vehicles. One, of course, being the Hummer EV SUV, which at the time had not yet been revealed. And then parked behind CEO Mary Barra in the middle was some sort of EV crossover type vehicle, which even as of today, months later, is still an unknown future vehicle. And then behind GM's chief EV officer, Travis Hester, was some sort of unseen Chevy badged EV pickup truck. Now, shortly after the event took place, the internet got into a bit of a stir when it came to figuring out what the story was behind these three vehicles, and most notably the pickup that was parked behind Travis Hester. The guys actually over at Car Scoops took what they saw in this video, and one of their artists by the name of Josh Byrnes, sorry Josh if I didn't pronounce your last name right, did a fantastic job in my opinion in creating this render that we see right here. And in fact, I'll leave a link in the description below if you'd like to check the article out. Car Scoops, as well as many others, came to the immediate conclusion that the truck behind Travis Hester was in fact the upcoming electric Silverado EV. Now, this thing does look pretty good in my opinion. It matches the brand's EV look when you compare it to, say, like the Bolt EV or the Bolt EUV, but it's also giving me some of those current gen Chevy Blazer vibes up front. In my last video, I had a few subscribers also mention this truck, saying that it is in fact the new electric Silverado EV. Without question, it is what it is. And you know what? That could very well be the case, but I am still a bit skeptical for a few reasons. First, how many of you remember this teaser outline right here that GM showed us prior to the Hummer EV pickup reveal? If you do, great. If not, just know that this blue outline image was used as a teaser for the Hummer EV pickup, and the outline matched perfectly with what was finally revealed to us. The same goes for the Hummer EV SUV blue outline teaser here. You can see that they showed us this image and then later revealed the Hummer EV SUV, and it was a perfect match. So their teasers were matching to exactly what they were giving us in the end, which is a good thing. Now let's take a look at the blue outline of the pickup truck that GM has been teasing us with in their Everybody In campaigns. If we notice, the back part of that outline does not match what we see here on the truck that was behind Travis at the Barclay event. It would seem odd to me that with the other teaser outlines matching perfectly to what was eventually revealed, that this one would be any different. Which leads me to the second reason why I don't think that this is the new electric Silverado EV. Does the back of this truck remind any of you of a previous Chevrolet vehicle? Anyone? It sure looks a lot like a Chevy Avalanche to me. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the revival of previously discontinued nameplates sure does seem to be a running trend these days. So if you ask me, I think that truck might just be an Avalanche revival that will be released in addition to the electric Silverado EV. But we're not done just yet, because there's one more reason why I don't think that this truck is the Silverado EV. And truthfully, this may be the biggest one. It just doesn't look like a Silverado. Let's be honest for a second. One of the biggest reasons, at least in my opinion, I think that people push back against the EV movement is due to the designs of these things. I think I can speak for myself as well as many others when I say I don't want my EV to scream to the world that it's an EV. And as much as I hate to admit it, I think Ford figured this out, and that is exactly why the F-150 Lightning looks like an F-150. Selling EV to the truck market is hard enough without going over the top on the exterior design. And I think GM knows this. So I truly believe and hope that when GM finally reveals to us the electric Silverado EV, that it looks just like a Silverado with a few slight variations to set it apart. I would expect something more along the lines of this. I actually used this in my thumbnail on my previous video. Granted, this is just an artist rendition with my own little twist on it, but that would match the teaser outlines GM has already shown us. And I think the current Silverado shopper would be far more likely to consider it if it simply sticks to the tried and true design of the Silverado. So now that you know what the internet thinks and you know what I think, let me know in the comments what you think. If you're a GM truck guy, am I right in saying the EV Silverado needs to look like a normal Silverado in order for you to consider it? Join the conversation below, smash that like button as it really does help me out, and consider subscribing to my channel in order to stay up to date on all things GM with my weekly uploads. As always, I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.